Hey everybody, this is Matt from endsickness.org. Today I'm going to talk about plant-based vitamin D and why it could be a better choice than a animal-derived or a synthetic vitamin D. First of all, I'm going to say I'm not a medical doctor. It's not medical advice. It's based on my personal experiences for informational and educational purposes only. So why would you use a plant-based vitamin D, and where can you even get a plant-based vitamin D slash K2 from? Well, when you take vitamin D3, you always got to have K2 with it to increase absorption. So you want to be able to get both these from plants to increase your absorption rate, because these synthetic products, the animal products, have lower absorption rates, and I'll talk more about that in a second. So where do you get vitamin D3 from a plant? Well, there's something called lichen, L-I-C-H-E-N, all right? And they sell this vitamin D3 slash K2 plant-based from a company called Sports Research. You'll see there's like 20,000 reviews out there. And the vitamin D3 comes from the lichen plant, and the K2, I believe, comes from chickpea. So it's derived directly from plants, and it's not derived from 25 different plants. It's just 2 different plants, so you got only 2 sources. That makes it usually much better tolerated than ones that are derived from 30 different things or derived from a lab and it's synthetic. So if you focus on a plant-based one, you're going to get a much higher absorption rate. It's like typically 80-90% absorption rate when you got something that's synthetic as low as 10% absorption rate. And you could take smaller doses even, the plant-based one, because it absorbs at such a higher rate. So the synthetic vitamin Ds are not going to be the way to go, and then there are vitamin Ds that are extracted from sheep's wool, which still are better than the synthetic ones, but they're not as good as a plant-based. Plant-based is always going to agree with the body much better and absorb much better into the body, because it's not something that the body's never seen before. It's in its natural state. It's not synthetic, and yeah, the animal product one, the one from sheep's wool, can be beneficial, but in my opinion, the plant-based one, it felt much cleaner. It felt like much more stable. It didn't feel like so heavy, knocking me out, wiping my energy out, etc. So I think the plant-based one was my favorite, in terms of anything. Now, do I take vitamin D on a daily basis? No, I don't, but you might need it if you have chronic illness, or if you live in a place that doesn't have a ton of sun like where I live. And, so I don't need it because I have sun every day pretty much for the most part. But if you're in a situation where you don't live in a climate that's like that, then you'll be in a scenario where you probably should be taking this at least 4 or 5 days a week, especially during the winter, or if you're in the middle of a chronic illness, because vitamin D can stabilize mast cells. It can actually calm down the allergy or the reactivity. It can calm down the inflammation. It can do tons of things that are beneficial for improving your overall inflammation and your symptoms. So at the end of the day, vitamin D is great, but you got to have the right source of vitamin D. And there are plenty of them out there that actually are plant-based. It's not just that Sports Research company. That's just one that's available internationally that I use with international clients. So look into it, see which ones have the best reviews. And if you're thinking about taking vitamin D, just transition to a plant-based. What you want to do with all your supplements is transition into naturally derived supplements, because these are best absorbed by the body. They're actually assimilated, they're actually stored. You can restore deficiencies with these things. When you're dealing with synthetic nutrients, you're just kind of like playing with, it's just like pharmaceuticals. It's the same thing. It's just temporary fix, provides short-term relief, irritates the body in the long term. It's treated as a xenobiotic by the body. And at the end of the day, you end up developing sensitivities more often to these synthetic things eventually. And this is why most people, when they get off the synthetic supplements, bingo, they feel much better. We start them on the plant-based supplements eventually. After we get their diet set up, we get the nervous system retrained a little bit. And that's how I operate. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. My website is endsickness.org. I got hundreds of articles, hundreds of videos on there. Thanks for watching.